Hi, my name's Brooke, and this is Maker's Workshop. My niece is turning 1 later this week, and for her birthday, I'm going to be making her a puzzle of her name using our CNC router, and I wanted to be sure to share this one because in my opinion, this is a really achievable CNC router project for any skill level. Let's get started. First things first, I picked out my material. Any solid wood will work really well for this. I went with a 5.5-inch board of solid pine and cut it down to the size I wanted for my finished puzzle on our bandsaw. Using a digital caliper, I got all the dimensions of my piece of wood. The thickness of your board is particularly important when doing CNC router projects. I'm using Easel Pro to create my design because it's the program that goes with our Carvey. However, it's a very simplistic design and any program that you're comfortable with that can communicate with your CNC router will do the trick. First, I entered in those dimensions. I wanted the finished puzzle to resemble blocks, so a bold block print felt like the right choice. I then got my CNC router prepared to take on the job. My design is using a 1/8-inch drill bit, so I got that securely in place. And then I secured my board in place and went ahead with the carve. I had a little bit of shredding on the edges of my letters, but this comes off very easily with a quick hand sand. I guess I was in the mood to hand sand, so I went ahead and finished sanding this whole thing up to a 220 grit. You can, of course, use power tools here if you prefer to save time and effort. Next, I applied the finish to the base piece. I went with Howard's Butcher's Block Conditioner. I love this stuff. It's a food-grade mixture of mineral oil and beeswax. Its intended use is on cutting boards, but I really love the soft, durable finish it gives to wood for a wide range of projects. I used a generous coat on all sides and allowed it to soak in while I finished the rest of the puzzle. I revisited my original name design and created a copy of it. I then set this to carve on the outline of the identical design. You want to be sure to have tabs in your design when you're cutting all the way through with pieces like this so they don't go flying on you in the machine. Easel Pro will add tabs automatically. However, I have had mixed results in the past with these tabs, so to be extra sure everything goes smoothly, I always add my own tabs by creating a long, narrow rectangle set to a 0 cut depth. This works every time. I cut another piece of pine identical to the first one and prepped it for the CNC router. It's worth noting before I cut this that if I were to cut these pieces to be the exact same size and shape as the holes I cut out of the base, they wouldn't actually be able to fit in the puzzle because there wouldn't be any room for the pieces to move past each other. I'm actually going to cut these with the bit set to go right on the line that I did for my design, because the kerf of the drill bit, which is an 1/8-inch drill bit, will nicely give me a 1/16-inch border around everything, which will make it so that the pieces have enough room to just slide into the base that I did earlier. Everything looked good, so I headed over to the scroll saw. This always makes quick work of removing those tabs I added. I then used the disc sander to quickly remove the nubs left by the tabs and then finished things off with a hand sand until I had the letters perfectly smooth. I painted these with a non-toxic paint. Even products marked as children's finger paints are a great option for this step. I did one side of all the layers and then allowed that to dry completely before flipping the pieces and painting the other side. The vision in my head has these being really glossy when they're done, so I need to obviously put a gloss clear coat on the top of this, but I wanted to err on the side of caution, so I went to my hardware store and grabbed a non-toxic, all-natural shellac finish for these. It says it's toy safe on the bottle, so this is what we're gonna do. Silly error that I'm noticing after I left these overnight to dry is that I put the wet shellac, or like the mildly damp shellac to dry on the cardboard, so it has like little cardboard wispies on the surface of the paint. But there's an expert tip to handle this. Alright, you really should always do this on wax paper. I lightly sanded the areas that needed it until the cardboard was removed. I also used this as an opportunity to sand any areas of the other letters that had dried kind of lumpy. I then touched everything up with some more paint as needed. And then I applied a finishing coat of shellac. It's very important to allow any finish you use here to dry thoroughly before it's ready to be given to a child. Going back to the base piece, I wiped off all the excess finish that had not soaked into the wood at this point with a rag. Look a little darker, we good.
You're on.
Okay.
Thanks for watching. We had a lovely time. Looking forward to seeing you again next week.
What are you doing?
Outro. I think this came out great. If you like this, click subscribe. See you next week. See, it's not hard.
And it's done. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this helpful or enjoyed this, please consider clicking the subscribe button to follow along with all the projects we make here in the Makerspace.